What did you get on your test? Answer me.
I got 92.
92. What a low mark. You know what? In your age, when I was your age, 92 is a very, very low marks, and even my mother won't let me get it.
That was during your time.
Oh my gosh! No, it's nothing but disappointment. You know what? I always get 98, 97, and 100. Just look at your cousin. What did she
you
get?
compare me to my cousin?
Just look at her. She always get 100 in every test. Can't you be like her? Can you even try to be like her? You try less.
I tried my best this time.
Trying your best? Are you in your dreams right now? You know what? You're nothing but just a trouble for me. Just like your father.
Why would you bring up further into my exam
Because
results?
you are just the same. You know what? He went to work and he never came back. Always like that. Like in a month. And what about you? You came back from school and you gave me 92 marks? How do you expect me to get happy with it? You know, you have to go to a great school, Harvard. But how do you want to get there with 92 marks? Why are you always disappointing me? You know what? I paid so many in your tuition, in your school. I've given everything, but can you even please me? What are you being sad about? It's nothing to be sad about, but you're making me angry like every day.
Okay, Mom, I'm sorry. I'll try to do better to get 100 next time.
Sorry. That's all the excuse you're giving me every time, every day. You're grounded for today. I don't want to see you today. You better be in your room. Don't let me see you.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Look,
Hello.
I came back from school and I got my final exam results this time, and I got a 92.
92. How
Wow.
high it is. I'm so proud of you, my baby girl.
I couldn't have done it without your support.
Oh my God. Even if you got 10 marks, I would be so grateful that you have effort in your academy. You're so good, daughter. You're such a good daughter.
I
cannot-
couldn't have done it without you too.
I cannot be happy more ever than this. And how about your school? Is everything okay? Is anyone bothering you?
Classroom is always fun. The teacher is always so helpful in helping me do my work. And
How about the teacher? The teacher is being good to you?
yes,
Do you have anything you dislike about the school? Or I can do anything for you. Just tell me.
I don't like the homework.
You don't like the homework? Okay, I will tell the teacher to list the homework for you.
Wow.
Don't worry. I can do anything for you. Don't worry.
Salam alaikum, hello. Salam alaikum. After watching the previous short clip, can you understand and imagine the types of parenting styles and parental involvement? If not, let us listen to Sister Samiha's explanation for the introduction.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are Group 9 from Section 1, EDEP 1103 Educational Psychology, and today we will be looking into parenting styles and parental involvement in a child's education. In a child's education, we will be looking into two different concepts, which is parenting styles and also parental involvement. So we will first look into the general definition for parenting styles. So parenting styles is defined as an emotional climate in which parents raise their children. Literature and research in this field has gone back way into the early 1950s. It is characterized by measuring parental responsiveness and also demandingness. At first, there were two approaches that were found in parents: love-oriented and object-oriented. First, love-oriented is how parents control their children's behavior by the use of warmth, praise, and emotional affection, encouraging the use more when a certain behavior is good and withdrawing the use when the behavior by the child is bad and is wished to be discouraged. On the other hand, for object-oriented, it is the use of tangible objects instead of emotions, things such as toys, extra playtime, or extra candy as a response to a child's behavior. An important aspect of parenting style is how, instead of focusing on purely disciplinary styles, the use of inductions or reasoning behind the parent's actions give more impact to its effectiveness. Inductions shed light to the children and how they process the reason behind their parents' actions. This, in turn, helps children to internalize the messages behind the actions better and help them understand empathy, being able to understand thought processes that differ from the ones they are already aware of. The use of induction is positive for both the parents and children, as it is to maximize the potential positive influence on child development. If parents are transparent with their reasonings for reward or punishment from the get-go, it facilitates proper transfer of the values the parent were trying to instill to children. The most well-known typologies in parental style research are authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved parents. Outside of research, Islam also provides guidelines on how to raise their children in the Quran and also in the Sunnah. So next we will be looking into parental involvement. Interestingly enough, parental involvement needs a context for us to further look into it, and thankfully we have child education. So how parental involvement and child education can be linked is how there are various factors such as student engagement, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, personal causation and self-regulation, motivational goal orientation, and motivation. Thus, the relationship between parental involvement and child education leads to benefits such as improving learning and academic success across childhood and subsequent schooling sessions in both primary and secondary school sessions. How parental involvement is measured for academic success is through participation in PTA or the Parent-Teacher Association, participating in school activities that are not just held at school but also in homes, such as helping out the children's homework of the day, keeping up with extracurricular activities, providing aid when the children are picking out their courses and knowing which one they excel at, keeping track of academic records to see how much it fluctuates throughout the school year, as well as overall general support in the home environment.
That was brief yet informative knowledge by Samiha. Now let's explore the types of parenting styles with Sister Fazrini.
Here we go. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharifah Nur Fazrini Najwa binti Muhammad Azri with metric number 2217484. So, have you ever heard about types of parenting styles? If not, let's dive into this topic together. For your information, there are 4 types of parenting styles that everyone must take note of, which are authoritarian, authoritative, uninvolved, and indulgent. But before we get into this part, we must understand the definition of demandingness and responsiveness, since these 2 elements are very important in parenting. So first, Parental responsiveness is referring to the extent to which parents intentionally foster individuality, self-regulation, and self-assertion by being attuned, supportive, and acquiescent to children's special needs and demands. Meanwhile, parental demandingness refers to the claims parents make on children to become integrated into the family whole by their maturity demands, supervision, disciplinary efforts, and willingness to confront the child who disobeys. So the first type of parenting style is authoritarian parents. They are highly demanding and directive, but not responsive. It means that the parents are very strict. Therefore, the children must obey every command, or else they will be punished physically or mentally. It also shows that the parents may have high expectations on their children's obedience and good behavior by following their strict rules. At the same time, authoritarian parents usually expect for blind obedience, which tells that the children must obey whatever their parents ask them to do without questioning their actions, even though it is wrong. Next type is authoritative parents. Authoritative parents are considered as the most effective parenting style because it includes both demanding and responsive. The parents will always be the main supporter for their children in any circumstances. If there are any mistakes, authoritative parents will not immediately give punishment, but they will give warm responses and advice so that the children understand and learn from their mistakes. In addition, they educate their children with discipline and clear motivation, but full with affection and acknowledgement. On the other hand, uninvolved parents are low in both responsiveness and demandingness. They tend to neglect their children, and in some cases, the children may have a feeling of being rejected by their parents. So this type of parenting style is usually cold and seems like the parents do not have any interest in discussing matters with their children. They may have very little act of acknowledgement on children's success and also low enthusiasm in educating the children for their wrongdoings. So lastly, indulgent or permissive parents are more responsive than demanding, where they are overflowing with warmth and affection towards their children, but lack in disciplining them with little or no rule and restrictions at all. Consequently, the children will be exposed to dangers and also discipline problems. Now, from Islamic perspective, there are lots of past stories stated in Al-Quran and Hadith which are related to parenting. For example, based on a Hadith narrated by Bukhari, Prophet Ibrahim a.s. asked for his son's help to build Kaabah through words with politeness and without force. Hence, we can see that this story can be a good example for parents to educate the children by using words of invitation and persuasion to encourage them to serve the Ummah with their own will. Besides, Islam also encourages men to advise and remind each other on our faith. Therefore, a father should always try to guide his children in doing things that have to be practiced and refrain themselves from doing bad and prohibited things. In Surah Luqman, verse 1 to 19, the story of Luqman al-Hakim giving advice on various matters to his children, including the aspect of Aqidah, Sharia, and goodness of character. So based on the story, it clearly indicates that advice and reminders from parents are very essential to the children so that they can achieve goodness in worldly life and hereafter.
I am so sure that you have learned something from Fazrini's explanation on the types of parenting styles, right? And now I think Sister Zahira has something to add on regarding parenting styles.
Happen.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello our viewers. Are you still with us? Let's continue the topic of parenting styles with me, but before that, I will introduce myself first. My name is Nur Zahira binti Wahiduddin, metric number 2215924. So, you have learned about the types of parenting styles with Fazrini, right? Moving on with me, I will disclose to you about the issues of parenting styles.
Authoritarian parenting.
Authoritarian parenting is likely to have a one-way mode of communication, whereby the parents' strict rules are must to follow. Children who grow up with authoritarian parents will often be the wisest in the room as a result of misbehavior. In addition, they can follow the exact instructions needed to better achieve their goals. Hence, this parenting style can cause children to have a high levels of aggression, but they can also become shy, less socially integrated, and unable to make decisions for themselves. This aggression can go unchecked because they have difficulty controlling their anger because they are not given proper guidance. They have low self-esteem, which reinforces their inability to make decisions. Strict parental rules and punishment often cause children to rebel against authority figures as they grow up.
Authoritative parenting.
Authoritative parenting adapts a close and nurturing relationship with the children, which leads them to be confident, responsible, and self-regulating children. They can manage their negative emotions more effectively, leading to better social outcomes and better emotional health. Since these parents also encourage independence, their children will learn that they are capable of achieving their goals on their own. This leads to children growing up with self-esteem. In addition, these children also mostly have high academic achievement and results.
Permissive parenting.
Permissive parenting ways of not adapting restrictive rules can cause children to have bad eating habits, especially when snacking. These can lead to an increased risk of obesity and other health problems later in the child's life. The child is provided a lot of freedom in deciding when to go to bed, whether to do homework, and how much time to spend in front of the computer and television. This degree of freedom can lead to more negative habits because parents do not give much advice in moderation. In general, children of permissive parents usually have some social skills and self-esteem. However, they can be impulsive, demanding, selfish, and lacking in self-regulation.
Uninvolved parenting.
Uninvolved parenting can cause children to be more resilient and possibly even more self-sufficient than children educated in other forms due to a lot of freedom and the parents disengage with the children. However, these skills are developed out of necessity. In addition, they may have difficulty controlling their emotions, have less effective coping strategies, may have learning difficulties, and have trouble maintaining social relationships.
This questionnaire is conducted based on the significant geographical data. Respondents come from both gender, male and female, different age group, different level of education, various social class, and diverse profession. One of the demographical data is gender. Our group managed to get 89 respondents, with as much as 69.7% of respondents are female, with 30.3% of respondents is male. Secondly, age group. There are 4 range of age groups starting with 20 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, and 51 above. 6 respondents equal to 6.7% of respondents aged between 20 to 31, 14 equals to 15.7% of respondents aged between 31 to 40 years old, 26 equal to 29.2% of respondents aged between 41 to 50, and the remaining 48.3% of respondents aged 51 above. Third is level of education. In Malaysia, there are particularly five levels of education, which are SPM, STPM, Diploma, Degree, Master's Degree, and PhD. 10 equal to 11.2% of respondents has SPM, 8 equal to 9% of respondents has STPM and Diploma, 61 equal to 68.5% of respondents have degree, with 9 equal to 10.1% have master's degree. Lastly, we only managed to get one PhD student to fill in the questionnaire. Fourth is the social class. 18 equal to 20.2% of respondents come from B40, 46 equal to 51.7% of respondents come from M40, and 25 equal to 28.1% of respondents come from T20 group. Lastly is the profession. These 89 respondents come from diverse profession backgrounds such as teacher, lecturer, retirees, army, clerk, accountant, housewife, and etc. All in all, our project reached a wide range of respondents, and that is why we have respondents from various of background.
So now, let's take a look at our findings on parenting styles. So the first item in the questionnaire is, I take actions when my children misbehave or disobey my instructions. So there are 70 respondents agree that they take actions when their children misbehave or disobey their instructions. Meanwhile, another 19 respondents disagree. Most of the respondents believe that kids should learn how to behave properly and act mannerly as well as obey parents' order. This nurturing process should begin at the very young age. The next item is, what actions will you take if your children misbehave or disobey your instructions? So 51 respondents agree that they will scold their children if their children misbehave or disobey their instructions. Another 28 respondents agree that they will seize their gadgets. A number of 7 respondents choose to lock up or grounded their children. Meanwhile, another 2 respondents choose to not give pocket money. Next, for the third item, what actions will you take if your children misbehave or disobey your instructions? As you guys can see on the screen, these are the answers given by the respondents. For other actions section, respondents choose to come out with other actions such as reprimanding, advising, explaining, slow talk, sometimes ignoring the misbehavior as well as taking back the promises that they make with their children as a counter response. The fourth item is, I believe that children's problems in terms of behavior can be solved if I regulate some strict rules for them. 71 respondents agree that they believe children's problem in terms of behavior can be solved if they regulate some strict rules for them. As for remaining 18 respondents, they disagree with the statement. Now, moving on to the fifth item, which is, I think disciplining children's misbehavior will cause them to not like their parents. 24 respondents agree that they think disciplining children's misbehavior will cause the children to not like the parents. Meanwhile, another 65 respondents disagree with the statement. So the next item is, I think using physical punishment as a way of disciplining a child is important. 32 respondents agree that they use physical punishment as a way of disciplining a child is important, while remaining 57 respondents disagree with the action. Next, I usually celebrate my children's achievements in their studies. So 77 respondents agree that they usually celebrate their children's achievements in their studies. Meanwhile, 11 respondents disagree.
Moving on to next question, I often ask about my children's concerns, problems, or well-being. 80 respondents, 89.9%, agree that they concern about their children's concerns, problems, or well-being. Meanwhile, remaining 9 respondents, 10.1%, disagree. I scold and criticize my children to make them improve themselves. 57 respondents, 64%, agree that they scold and criticize their children to make them improve themselves. However, 32 respondents, 36%, agree otherwise. I think my children's involvement is important in making decisions for the family. 76 respondents, 85.4%, agree that they involve their children in making decisions for the family, while the other 13 respondents, 14.6%, agree to disagree. Next, I ignore my children's misbehavior. 11 respondents, 12.3%, agree to ignore their children's misbehavior, while the rest of 78 respondents, 87.6% disagree to ignore. I always feel unsure or find that it is difficult to discipline my children. 20 respondents, 22.4%, agree that they always feel unsure or find it difficult to discipline their children, while the other 96 respondents, 77.5%, agree to not feeling unsure or difficult at all. For the last question, I fully rely on the teachers at school or education institutions to educate my children. 11 respondents, 12.4%, agree that they fully rely on the teachers at school to educate their children, while the other 78 respondents, 87.6%, disagree.
Wow! Great explanation from Zahira. That's it for parenting styles. And now, moving on to parental involvement. Sister Amalin, let's get started.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Amalin and now I will be explaining about types of parental involvement. According to Epstein's framework, there are 6 types of parental involvement, which are parenting, communicating, volunteering, learning at home, decision-making, and collaborating with the community. The first type is parenting. The first way parents can support their children's education is by providing a healthy home environment. Parenting includes all of the activities that parents engage in to raise happy, healthy children who become capable students. Unlike teachers, whose influence on a student is relatively limited, parents maintain a lifelong commitment to their children. So activities that support this type of involvement are providing information to parents about their child's development, health and safety, and home conditions that can support student learning. Therefore, schools should help parents by offering parenting workshops and encouraging them to model a pro-education behavior such as reading to and in front of their children. The next type is communicating. Keeping parents informed and making it easy for them to ask questions or express concerns is vital to parent involvement and to ensure parent-teacher conferences. Hence, families and schools should always communicate with each other in multiple ways. Some good examples of communicating are schools send home notes and flyers about important events and activities. Parents give teachers information about their child's health and educational history, establishing a school website as an additional mode of communication with parents and families. Moving on to the third type, which is volunteering, it applies to recruiting and organizing help and support from parents for school program and activities. There are 3 basic ways that parents may volunteer in education. First, they may volunteer in the school or classroom by helping teachers and administrators as tutors or assistants. Second, they may volunteer for the school, for instance, fundraising for an event or promoting a school in the community. Finally, they may volunteer as a member of an audience, attending school programs or performances. Therefore, schools should invite parents to help out and make sure they are aware of volunteer opportunities within the school. Another type is learning at home. Parents and other family members can be great educational resources for students. To help parents provide at-home learning, teachers should keep them informed about homework assignments and projects. Teachers should also provide resources designed to help parents understand the subject matters so they can best assist their children with homework and other curricular-related decisions and activities. This can help parents ensure their children have ways to learn outside of the classroom. The next type is decision making. Good schools and districts should run as a partnership between parents and educators. Therefore, it is crucial to include parents in school decisions and to develop parents' leaders and representatives. Parents will participate in school decision making when they become part of school governance committee or join as organizations, such as the Parents Teachers Association or known as PIBG. Other decision-making activities include taking on leadership roles that involve disseminating information to other parents. The last type of parental involvement is collaborating. parents who are involved in the community are typically going to be involved in the school system. To help them stay connected, schools can provide information on community activities at local museums and parks, develop community service projects that bring together parents, teachers, and administrators, and invite community leaders to speak in the classroom and at parent events. Each of these types can lead to various results for students, parents, teaching practices, and the school climate. In addition, each type poses challenges to involve all families, and those challenges must be met. That is why Epstein considers it to be significant for each school to choose what type are believed to be most likely to assist the school in reaching its goal for academic success, and to develop a climate of alliance between homes and the school. While from Islamic perspective, Islamic scholars have discussed parenting skills according to Islam and submitted various views, such as Ulwan in his book Tarbiyah Al-Awlad explained that parental involvement toward children education should not focus only on the 6 types mentioned, but their involvement should also encompass the aspects of education on Akidah, Iman, Ibadah, and Akhlaq.
Thank you so much, Amalin. Curious what's next? Fatiha will further explain on the topic of parental involvement. Check this out.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nik Nur Fatihana Suha binti Nik Zulkifli, and my metric number is 2210438. I am going to talk about the issues of parental involvement in their children's education matter. Strengthening the quality of education is impossible without involvement from parents as well as dedicated teachers. The most famous issues that are being discussed are also very common to parents. One of the issues is students' outcome. Oftentimes, students' outcome is always discussed together with dropouts and truancy rates, which at some point affect school ranking and reputation. Many parents believe that they should not involve in their children's education matters and would just let the teachers and the school authorities to handle for the parents. As a side note, parents would stress that children spend half of their day at school, and the school should be able to mold them into a well-rounded human being. However, without the monitoring from the parents, it is challenging for teachers to reduce the truancy rates. Not only it is difficult for teachers to educate the children without the support of the parents, but it is also difficult for the teachers to control their behavioral problems. Battleson in 2008, she also said that they're looking at the parent life contact that is always busy with works. They don't really have time for their kids. That being said, education without the involvement from parents can be very difficult. Okay, so by right, parents and teachers should be able to work together so that they can put value into children's education, as well as they can monitor the education of the children, and the children can have both attention from the parents and also from the teachers. So that's all for the issues. Thank you.
Well done, Fatiha. For now, I'll leave you with the presenters for the remaining information. I gotta go for a meeting now. Bye.
Here is the second finding regarding parental involvement in child's education. The first item is, I always supervise my children's activities at home. A number of 51, equivalent to 57.3% of respondents, choose strongly agree, with 26, equivalent to 29.2% respondents, just choose agree. The remaining 8, equivalent to 9% of respondents, just choose to disagree, and another 4 respondents, equivalent to 4.5% of respondents, choose to strongly disagree. In conclusion, we can see that 77, equivalent to 86.5% of respondents, agree to supervising their children's activities at home, with 12, equivalent to 13.5% respondents, stating otherwise. For the second item, which is, when I have concerns regarding my children's academic matters, I will directly contact the teacher. As much as 22 respondents, equivalent to 24.7%, choose to strongly agree, with 45, equivalent to 50.6%, choose to agree. Another 17 respondents, equivalent to 19.1%, choose to disagree, and 5%, equivalent to 5.6% of respondents, choose to strongly disagree. In short,
Throughout our finding, we can see that 67, equivalent to 75.3% of respondents, agree to directly contact the teacher upon having concerns over their children's academic matters, with 23, equivalent to 24.7% of respondents, do not. For the third item, which is I always volunteer and attend my children's school activities like Students Award, PIBG meeting, and etc. As much as 44, equivalent to 49.4% of respondents, choose to strongly agree, while another 31, equivalent to 24.8% respondents, choose to agree. The other remaining 11, equivalent to 12.4% of respondents, choose to disagree, and another 3, equivalent to 3.4% of respondents, choose to strongly disagree. In short, we can see that 75, equivalent to 84.2% of respondents, are often into volunteering and attending their children's school activities compared to 14, equivalent to 15.8% of respondents that do not.
The next item from our questionnaire is I help my children with their studies when there is an upcoming examination ahead. According to the chart, 46 of the respondents strongly agree, 32 of them agree, 7 of them disagree, and 4 of them strongly disagree. Therefore, it means 78 of respondents help their children with their studies in an upcoming examination. Meanwhile, 11 of respondents choose not to. The last item from our survey is, if there is something I am dissatisfied with the school and its development, I will precisely voice my opinion. According to the chart, 26 of the respondents strongly agree, 43 of them agree, 16 of them disagree, and 4 of them strongly disagree. Hence, it means 69 respondents will voice out their opinion if the school and its development is unsatisfactory. However, 20 of them disagreeing to the idea.
That is all about types and issues of parental involvement. Now let's see what Samaha wants to share with us.
Now that we are familiar with parenting styles and parental involvement, how do these two different concepts come into play in helping child's education? So we can see it from one, the personal involvement, including the parent-child interaction that communicate positive attitudes about school and the importance of education to the child. Behavioral involvement, we can see the parents' public actions representing their interest in their children's education, actively attending open houses with other parents or volunteering at the school. We can also see cognitive or intellectual involvement, which refers to the behaviors that promote the children's skill development and knowledge, such as reading books and possibly going to the museum. Parental involvement affects student achievement because these interactions affect student motivations, their sense of competence, and the belief that they have control over their success in school.
I'm the princess. I'm the example. I've got duties, responsibilities, expectations. My whole life is planned out. Preparing for the day I become, well, my mother. She's in charge of every single day of my life. Aye, Robin, jolly Robin, and thou shalt know of my project. And thou shalt know of mine.
Enunciate, you must be understood from anywhere in the room, or it's all for naught.
This is all for naught.
I heard that. From the top.
A princess must be knowledgeable about her kingdom. She doesn't doodle. That's a C, dear.
A princess does not chortle. Doesn't stuff her gob.
Rises early, is compassionate,
Patient.
cautious, clean,
And above all, a princess strives for, well, perfection.
But everyone's...
Look, Simba. Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Wow.
A king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here, and will rise with you as the new king.
And this'll all be mine?
Everything.
Everything the light touches. What about that shadowy place?
That's beyond our borders. You must never go there, Simba.
But I thought a king can do whatever he wants.
Oh, there's more to being king than getting your way all the time.
There's more?
Simba, I'm very disappointed in you.
I know.
You could have been killed. You deliberately disobeyed me. And what's worse, you put Nala in danger.
I was just trying to be brave like you.
I'm only brave when I have to be. Simba, being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble.
But you're not scared of anything.
I was today.
You were?
Yes. I thought I might lose you.
Oh. I guess even kings get scared, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd all this come from?
A library.
The library? You've never set foot in a library. You're only 4 years old.
6.5.
You're 4.
6.5.
If you were 6.5, you'd be in school already.
I want to be in school. I told you I was supposed to start school in September. You wouldn't listen.
Get up. Get up. Get out here. Give me that book. Dearest Pie, how old is Matilda?
4. I'm 6.5, Mommy. 5 then. I was 6 in August.
You're a liar.
I want to go to school.
School. It's out of the question. Who would be here to sign for the packages? We can't leave valuable packages sitting out on the doorstep. Now go watch TV like...
Hi everyone, I'm back. I guess it's not complete if we don't explore this until the end. So now let's listen to the conclusion for this topic and have a proper goodbye. In conclusion, every parent must know their own parenting styles as it is actually included as a factor of a child's good or bad behavior. In addition, each element of parenting style has its own pros and cons. Therefore, if parents get to know their styles, they will be able to have deeper understanding on the right ways to cope with children's behavior, taking good care of their needs, and know what is right and what is wrong for them. Interrelated to parenting styles, parental involvement is also essential for students' and schools' development. Various studies have shown that increased parental involvement will result in increased student success, enhanced parent and teacher satisfaction, and improved school climate. In terms of academic performance, several aspects such as comprehension and reading fluency improve when there is parental involvement, even more if parents spend time reading with their children. The students will then feel more motivated to learn, and their grades improve. Moreover, parental involvement also improves teacher performance. When parents have better communication with teachers, they learn to value the work and the challenges that teachers face, which makes the teachers feel appreciated. It also helps the teachers to get to know the student more, allowing them to teach in a more personalized and effective way. Therefore, schools should always encourage this involvement in several areas including parenting, learning at home, communication, volunteering, decision-making, and community collaboration. Here is our references for the study of this topic.
Speak with your children as if they are the wisest, kindest, most beautiful humans on earth, for what they believe is what they will become. Brookhampton.
Behind every young child who believes in himself is a parent who believed first. Matthew Jacobson.
Your words as a parent have great power. Use them wisely and make sure they come from the heart. Carolina King.
The best inheritance a parent can give his children is a few minutes of his time each day. O.A. Batista.
At the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to child success is the positive involvement of the parents. By Jane D. Hall.
Yay! I believe that's all for parenting styles and parental involvement in child's education. Thank you for watching and listening.